Over my 10. Dead body. Language focus modal verbs of probability in the past. Vocabulary metaphors and idioms, the body, everyday English stress and intonation. Reading The Amazing Vikings, listening rhyme and reason, writing adding emphasis. Watch the video introduction. Question mark. 1. Look quickly at the photo. What is it? Look more closely. What do you see? Do you think it's respectful to the dead? Why not? 2. Explain the quote. Is this true of people you have known? How is it true for famous historical figures? The dead will not die completely until they are remembered by no one. Mehmet Murat Ilden. Use your workbook for self-study. Go online for more practice and to check your progress. Language focus. Modal verbs of probability in the past. Test your grammar. 1. All modal verbs can be used to express degrees of probability. Which of these sentences do this? Put a check mark. Dot. Which don't? Put a X. Dot. 1. She must be very rich. 2. I must do my homework. 3. They can't be at home. There are no lights on. 4. I think it's Jane, but I might be wrong. 5. I can't sleep because of the noise. 6. You should see a doctor. 7. Cheer up. Things could be worse. 8. The train may be late due to bad weather. 2. Put all the sentences in the past. 10.1 Listen and check. One of the greatest mysteries of English history. In August 2012, the skeleton of a 500-year-old man was discovered beneath a council car park in Leicester, England. This find caused great excitement among archaeologists and historians. Missing for 500 years. 1. Look at the pictures and read the introduction. Discuss these questions with a partner. 1. Who was the man? 2. How did he die? 3. Why was he found in a car park? 4. How old was he when he died? 5. What is the connection with the actor, Benedict Cumberbatch? He must have been someone important. It might have been Shakespeare. He could have died. ... The actor may be interested in history. ... CBS. HFA. OLLYWOOD Film Awards. Benedict Cumberbatch. 210.2 Listen to two friends, Andy and Bill, discussing the skeleton. 1. What are their answers to the questions in 1? 2. Were your predictions correct? 3. Answer the questions using the modal verbs in italics. 1. When did Richard die? In the 15th century. Must. 2. What was he doing when he died? Riding a horse, fighting in a battle. Could, must. 3. Who was he fighting in the battle? Henry VII, Elizabeth I. Might, can't. 4. Was he buried in the car park? Opening parenthesis. Can't, wouldn't. 5. How old was he when he died? 32 or 33/40. May, can't. 6. What did they learn from his deformed spine? A hunchback. Could. 7. Why were his feet missing? Builders in the 16th century. Might. 8. Did the Canadian people know they were related? Any idea? Can't. 9. How did Benedict Cumberbatch feel about the discovery? Very surprised. Must. 410.3 Listen and check. Practice the sentences, paying attention to contracted forms and weak forms. P. This is a pay and display. Car park, please pay at ticket machine. No burying of dead monarchs. Leicester. S. London. www. FR English. Rue. 5. Look at the photos of medieval objects from England. With your partner, discuss what you think they may have been used for. It might have been used to. ... That must, might, could have been. ... They'll have used that to. ... This must be a. ... I suppose, reckon, guess it could be. ... 6, 4, 3, 2, 7, 6. Check your ideas on page 164. How many did you guess correctly? Language focus. 1. Write certain or possible next to these modal auxiliary verbs according to the degree of probability they express. They'll have. They must have. They might have. They could have. Arrived. They may have. They can't have. They won't have. 2. Match the lines. You shouldn't have told a lie. You needn't have cooked. No one's hungry. You did this, but it wasn't necessary. This was possible, but you didn't do it. You idiot. You could have killed. You did this, but it was yourself. Grammar reference 10.1. Wrong. P 162. 7. Turn to the next page. P 102. And read more about Richard III. 8. Work in small groups. Read quickly through the story of Richard III. What do these dates refer to? 1452, 1483, 1485, 2012, 2014. 9. Read it again more carefully. Discuss these questions. 1. Is it certain or probable that Richard had the 2 princes murdered? How do you know? 2. Who had the biggest army? Why do you think they lost the battle? 3. Who were the 3 monarchs after Richard III? 4. Why do you think Richard's first burial was without a coffin? 5. What were the signs that the skeleton was Richard III? What was the final proof? 6. How did Shakespeare fall victim to fake news? Richard III. The Princes in the Tower. Richard III was born in 1452. He became king in 1483 after the death of his elder brother, Edward IV, having seized the throne from Edward's 2 young sons. He imprisoned the boys in the Tower of London, where he allegedly had them murdered. The scandal of the Princes in the Tower caused Henry Tudor to challenge him for the throne. Richard amassed an army of 12,000 men near the town of Leicester. Henry marched towards him with his army of 5,000. They met and fought in the Battle of Bosworth Field. The year was 1485, the last time any English king actually fought in battle with his men. Richard, aged just 32, was killed, and Henry Tudor took the throne as Henry VII. He was the father of Henry VIII and grandfather of Elizabeth I. Richard's first burial. According to historical records, Richard's body was taken to Leicester and buried without a coffin in a friary graveyard. This was subsequently destroyed in the 16th century. It wasn't until 500 years after his death that a team from Leicester University set out to find the site of Richard's burial. In August 2012, they began excavating in a car park in the city centre, and soon discovered a skeleton, which was found in good condition but with its feet missing. It also had a badly curved spine and 10 battle-related injuries. It was subjected to months of DNA tests which linked it not only to the English actor Benedict Cumberbatch, but also to descendants in Canada, who are genealogically linked to Richard's sister, Anne of York. This was final confirmation that the body was Richard III. A facial reconstruction of the skull was made, which looks remarkably like portraits of the king. Shakespeare's Richard. Richard III was portrayed by Shakespeare as a hunchbacked tyrant with a withered arm, who murdered 2 innocent princes. However, modern historians argue that Richard was the victim of Henry VII's propaganda because archaeologists found no evidence of a withered arm. His second burial. In 2014, the king was finally given a royal burial and his remains were laid to rest in Leicester Cathedral. Practice. Discussing grammar. 1. Underline the correct answers. 1. The 2 princes must have been terrified when imprisoned in the tower. 2. My knowledge of history is lamentable. I had to study, should have studied it more at school. 3. Sorry I'm late. I should have gone, had to go to the post office. 4. I looked everywhere for my glasses, but I couldn't have found them anywhere. 5. You needn't have said, shouldn't have said anything to anybody about it. It was a secret. 6. You can't have bought, needn't have bought a new kettle. I managed to fix the old one. 7. You should have asked, must have asked me. I might have given, would have given you a lift. 8. You can't have done, needn't have done your homework already. 9. You could have told, must have told me the lesson had been cancelled. I shouldn't have got up, wouldn't have got up so early. 10. Harry wasn't in class today, you couldn't have seen, wouldn't have seen him. 2. Complete the sentences with a past modal. 1. I did tell you about Joe's party. You. Listening. 2. Thanks so much for all your help. I managed without you. 3. Chocolates, for me. Oh, that's so kind, but really you. 4. Come on. We're only 5 minutes late. The film started yet. 5. I don't believe that Kathy's going out with Mark. She would. Told me. I know. 6. We raced to the airport, but we worried. The flight was delayed. 7. We've got a parcel here that isn't for us. It. 8. You. River. You. Delivered by mistake. Gone swimming in that drowned. 10.4 Listen and check. Practice the sentences with a partner. Writing P140 adding emphasis. In writing, people of influence. A tricky conversation. 310.5 Read and listen to one half of a phone call. Who are the people? What are they talking about? They might have had. Marlene must be Donna's friend. A holiday romance. We were so lucky. Single quote. 6. Look at the photo. Imagine the couple in the car are your friends. They tell you about their lucky escape. We decided to go for a drive, even though it was still blowing a gale. And look what happened. We were so lucky. Single quote. Hello? D. Dot. Dot. Yes, I'm Robert. Who is this? D. Dot. Dot. Sorry, Donna who? D. Dot. Dot. I'm sorry I don't think. Know any, Donnas. D. Dot. Dot. On holiday? Did we? Where was that? D. Dot. Dot. Greece. Oh, yes of course. Donna and Marlene from Wisconsin. That was years ago. D. Dot. Dot. Well, dot. Dot. Thank you very much. Dot. Dot. Yes, it was fun. Alistair and I enjoyed it, too. Well, what a surprise. So, dot. Dot. What are you up to these days? D. Dot. Dot. Really? Here. Dot. Dot. In London? What are you doing here? D. Dot. Dot. Wow. Really? 6 countries. That's ambitious. D. Dot. 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 Well. Dot. Dot. Obviously I'd like to see you both again, but actually it's not really very. Dot. Dot. D. Dot. Dot. Yes, I know we said that. Dot. Dot. But Alistair lives in Scotland now, and my flat isn't very big and my wife. Dot. Dot. D. Dot. Dot. About 3 years ago, and we're about to move to a bigger place. We're expecting another baby. D. Dot. Dot. I'm glad you understand. I suppose we could meet for a drink for old time's sake. D. Dot. Dot. Maybe you're right. But it was nice to hear your voice again, Donna. Love to Marlene and I'll tell Alistair that you got in touch. Enjoy your trip. D. Dot. Dot. Thanks, Donna. Same to you. Bye. 4. Work with a partner. What do you think Donna says? 510.6 Listen to both sides of the conversation and compare. Why isn't Robert very keen to meet up with Donna? What do you learn about their lives now? Use the phrases to comment on their story. Perhaps you shouldn't have. Dot. Dot. You must feel. Dot. 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 You could have been. Dot. Dot. You must have been. Dot. Dot. Exclamation mark. The car must be. Dot. Dot. Don't you think you should have? Dot. Dot. Question mark. Why didn't you? Dot. Dot. Question mark. Surely you. Dot. Dot. 710.7 Listen and compare. Practice the conversation. 8. Tell the class about an occasion in your life when something went wrong. They can comment and ask questions. Spoken English expressions with modals. There are many fixed expressions with modal auxiliary verbs often found in spoken English. Match a line in A to a line in B. Alpha. 1. That exam was a disaster. Single quote. 2. You might as well apply for the job, even though you're too young. 3. I know I shouldn't have eaten a whole tub of ice cream, but... Dot. Dot. 4. You might have told me that Lisa and Joe had split up. Single quote. 5. I think you should forget all about her and move on. 6. You should have been there. I could have died laughing. 7. Guess what? Exclamation mark. Annie's going out with Joe. Single quote. 8 feet one could do with a break. B. Sorry. I thought you knew. B. You can say that again. C's. Why not? I've got nothing to lose. D. I know you. Just couldn't help it. Single quote. E. Me too. I'm dying for a coffee. F. I would if I could, but I can't. G. What was so funny? H. Huh. I could have told you that. 10.8 Listen and check. What extra lines do you hear? Practice the conversations with a partner. Go online for more grammar practice. Reading and speaking The Amazing Vikings. 1. Everybody has heard of the Vikings. Discuss what you know about them. 2. Read the introduction. When were the Vikings powerful? What 3 things did they do across the northern world? How did we find out about their lives? 3. Look at the pictures about Viking history. Read through the texts quickly. What else other than raiders and pillagers were the Vikings? 4. Work with a partner. Read the texts again and find information about the Vikings in relation to their 1. Skills. 4. Trade. 7. Settlements. 2. Appearance. 5. Brutality. 8. Writing. 3. Religion. 6. Exploration. Vocabulary. 5. What did the Vikings do? Match a line in A to a line in B. The Vikings. Dot. Dot. The Vikings. Raiders, traders and intrepid explorers. From the fury of the Northmen, O Lord, deliver us. Single quote. The year is 793 AD and this was the petrified cry of the ancient Anglo-Saxons pleading with God to save them from the Vikings. Or Norsemen. Dot. For nearly 300 years, from the 8th to the 11th century AD, this warrior race set out from Scandinavia on raids and voyages of discovery and colonization across the northern world. They struck fear in the hearts of the peoples of Europe, but the archaeology of their settlements and the literature of their sagas reveal a complex and fascinating culture. They were not only violent raiders and pillagers, they were a lot else besides. A. B. Tended. Stone. Carved. Gods. Traded. Monasteries. Raided. Money. Worshipped. Livestock. Extorted. Far and wide. Settled. Expeditions. Mounted. Explored. In many lands goods. 6. Use the cartoon pictures to tell the story of the Vikings. To your partner in your own words. What do you think? Discuss in small groups. Then report to the class. How and why do you think the power of the Vikings finally ended? What can you deduce? Use must have, could have and might have. We think they must have run out of places to raid. Read The End of the Viking Age on page 167 and check your ideas. Watch a video and learn more about the legacy of the Viking Empire in Denmark. 1. This striking-looking race with their blonde hair and blue eyes were descended from Germanic tribes that settled in what is now Scandinavia. Most Vikings were at heart farmers and fishermen, not warriors. They grew vegetables and cereal crops and tended their livestock. Skilled Viking craftsmen included blacksmiths, leather workers and jewelers. 2. God. Chief. They worshipped a variety. Them were Odin, Thor, and Frey. Today we recall them as Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. It is said that Odin created the runes, the 24 letters of the Old Norse alphabet. These were carved on stone tablets with scenes of Norse myths. 3. Above all, the Bund were skillful shipbuilders and navigators. With their magnificent long ships they embarked on voyages of exploration far and wide. From Britain to Baghdad, trading their iron, furs and grindstones for goods which they could not get at home, such as silk, glass and silver. 4. However, in the late 8th century, trading was replaced by raiding. Having the fastest ships of the day, they sprang surprise attacks on European monasteries, thereafter extorting protection money as a price of peace. This was known as Danegeld. This reign of terror began in 793, with a ferocious attack on England's Lindisfarne monastery. 5. By the mid-9th century, the Vikings were seeking to increase their wealth and power even further. They struck out across the unwelcoming Atlantic and, in 870, reached Iceland. As many as 12,000 Viking immigrants ultimately settled there, setting up the Althing, the oldest parliament in the world. www. Fr English. Ru. Greenland. Iceland. Norway. Newfoundland. Britain. 6. In 982, one of these immigrants, the hot-tempered Eric the Red, banished from his homeland for killing 2 men in a violent feud, sailed westward again, finally settling down in a grey, desolate land of fjords and glaciers. Cunningly, he named it Greenland, so as to attract more settlers to join him and his family. Eric's eldest son, Leif Erikson, became intrigued by tales of yet more lands and, in 1003, he mounted an expedition further west. He finally landed in a place which he named Vinland, today known as Newfoundland, thereby discovering North America nearly 500 years before Christopher Columbus. Listening and pronunciation, rhyme and reason. 110.9 Close your eyes and listen to a poem by Lewis Carroll from The Adventures of Alice in Wonderland. It is a conversation between a son and his father. Answer the questions. 1. Is the poem light-hearted or serious? How do you know? 2. What is the relationship between the son and father? Is it respectful or disrespectful? 3. Which of the son's questions can you remember? How does the father answer? 4. What do you learn about the father's life? 2. Work with a partner. Read the poem. Discuss which word best fills the gaps. It helps to read the poem aloud as you do this. 310.9 Compare your version with others in the class. Justify your choice of words. Listen again. Whose was closest to the original? What do you think? How old do you think the son and his father are? The poem was written in the 1860s. Which vocabulary links it to this period? Which words describe the father? Which the son? Eccentric, rude, patient. Inquisitive, judgmental, witty. Irritable, nosy. How do you think old people should behave? Why? Writing your own poem. 4. Some schoolchildren wrote poems modeled on Lewis Carroll's. Read this one aloud. You're old, Uncle John, the young girl did say, yet you spend 6 hours a day at the gym, and you jog down the road before break of day. Pray, why keep yourself so very trim? Single quote. In my youth, Uncle John replied to his niece, I was hugely, disgustingly fat. But now that I've met a young lady from Greece, motivation has got rid of that. Single quote. 5. Work with your partner and write a similar poem. Read it aloud to the class. You're old, Father William. Single quote. By Lewis Carroll. You're old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your underscore. Do you think, at your age, it is too? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared it might injure the three. But, now that I'm perfectly sure I have why, I do it again and again. Single quote. You're old, said the youth, as I. And have grown most fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door, pray what is the reason of that? Single quote. Before. In my youth, said the sage, as he shook his grey, I kept all my limbs very. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box, allow me to sell you a couple. Single quote. You're old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than. Yet you finished the goose, with the bones and the 10 prey, how did you manage to do it? Single quote. 11. In my youth, said his father, I took to the law, and argued each, underscore with my wife. And the muscular strength which it gave to my 12 has lasted the rest of my life. Single quote. You're old, said the youth, one would hardly suppose that your eye was as 13. As ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose, what made you so awfully 14? Question mark. Single quote. I have answered 3 questions and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself 15. Do you think I can listen all day to such 16? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs. Single quote. www. FR English. Rue. Head, hands, bed too smart, right, good. 3 wit, mind, brain none, 1, gone. 5 stated, mentioned, said. Hugely, uncommonly, awfully. 7 curls, beard, locks supple, fit, nimble. Cake, suet, jelly 10 body, feathers, beak. Case per day, night 12 tongue, jaw, chin. 13 steady, true, focused. 14 skillful, clever, able. 15 airs, manners, away. 16 rubbish, stuff, nonsense. Vocabulary. Metaphors and idioms, the body. 1 Which parts of the body do you associate with? Dot. Dot. Question mark. Black circle intelligence, black circle emotions, black circle manual skills. 2 In which one of these sentences is the word in italics used literally? Rephrase the words used metaphorically. 1 Can you give me a hand to move this sofa? 2 She's so clever. She's heading for great things in life. 3 But she's not at all big-headed. 4 We shook hands and introduced ourselves. 5 My daughter has a very good head for business. 6 I'd help, but I've got my hands full at the moment. 7 She shouts a lot, but she's got a heart of gold. 8 After a heart-to-heart talk, things are much clearer now. 9 I trained to be a lawyer, but my heart wasn't in it. 3 Complete the sentences with one of these expressions. Face the fact, pulling your leg, finding my feet. Putting a brave face on its last legs goes to their heads a sharp tongue. 1 My car's done over 200,000 kilometers. It's now. I'll have to buy a new one. 2 With so many celebrities, success. Really very important. And they start to believe there. 3 I know she's in a lot of pain, but she's on it. 4 I'm in my first term at uni, and it's all a bit strange, but I'm slowly. 5 I'm nearly 75. I simply have to. That I'm not as young as I was. 6 Sue says some really cruel things. Yes, she's got. 7 Did you really tell Pete I don't like him? No, of course not. I'm just. 410.10 The lines below are from 2 conversations. Listen and replace the underlined phrases with the body expressions you hear. I'm still getting used to it. Black circle underneath it all, she's kind and generous. She understands business very well. You'd better accept the fact that your computer's ancient. It's been about to stop working for years. Are you joking? 5. Look up another part of the body in a dictionary. Find idioms and explain them to the rest of the class. Go online for more vocabulary practice. Everyday English stress and intonation. Degrees of enthusiasm. 110.11 Listen to 3 people A, B and C responding to the same question. Who is the most enthusiastic? Who is the least? Who is not sure? What was the play like? A. It was interesting. B. It was interesting. C. It was interesting. 210.11 Listen again and practice them with a partner. 310.12 A couple are discussing a film they've just seen. Sometimes the woman W agrees with the man M. Sometimes she doesn't. Listen to the way she says dot. Write A, B, C or D next to lines 1 to 8. Or I'm not so sure. C. L agree strongly. B. L agree. D. I disagree strongly. What did you think of the movie? M. Well, I thought that movie was great. W. Dot. M. I was on the edge of my seat from start to finish. W. To dot. M. Well, the ending was a complete surprise. W. 3. Dot. M. What about the special effects? Weren't they amazing? W. 4. Dot. M. And Julia Jones, wasn't she just perfect as the love interest? W. 5. Dot. M. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. W. Dot. M. I'm going to recommend it to Rob and Fran. They'll love it. W. Dot. M. Come on. Let's go for a drink. W. Dot. On. www. Sex. 410.13 With your partner, decide what you think the woman goes on to say. Listen and compare. Stress in sentences. 510.14 Listen to the short dialogues and mark the main stressed word in B's answers. Why does the stress shift in each reply? Practice them with your partner. Who is John? 1A is John the man with the short, fair hair. B. No, John's the man with the short, dark hair. 2A is John the boy with the short, dark hair. B. No, John's the man with the short, dark hair. 3A is John the man with the short, dark beard. B. No, John's the man with the short, dark hair. 4A is John the man with the long, dark hair. B. No, John's the man with the short, dark hair. 5A is Tom the man with the short, dark hair. B. No, John's the man with the short, dark hair. 6. Read the short conversations with your partner. Underline the main stress in B's replies and practice them. 1A. You look tired. B. I am tired. 2A. That's Sylvie over there. She's French. B. I thought she was French. 3A. I had such a good idea about Mum's birthday present. B. I thought of it first. 4A. I sold my old computer to Barry. B. I thought you'd given it to him. 5A. Do you work for Carl? B. No, Carl works for me. 6A. I've never met Eva before. B. You must have met her. She knew your name. 10.15 Listen and check. Practice again. Go online for more speaking practice.